Hello, friends. We're back. Another day. Another tier list. Oh wait, I need that back. I need this over here. There we go. Hello, everyone. Let's get my RimWorld music queued up, obviously. I thought that was a good fit last time, although I didn't end up using that take at all. But hey, if you're watching the channel, you know, right after this, or probably during this, honestly, the actual tier list, the edited version, will go up from yesterday. I ended up just redoing it so that I could put my thoughts together in a more concise way, but you know, it's still an hour long, so good quality time will be had by all. You get to be in this one. I saw your comment on my video at Belcher. I thought that was pretty insightful. Just in time. I haven't even put the first one in here. You can pick the first weapon and where it goes, and we'll just assume that that's right. Oh, guys, look at my thumbnail. Pretty good, right? It's poppin'. There's no based tier now. I don't want anything to be based level. Anything that you would consider based is a problem in this game. I redid it last night and this morning, Andrew, and I am currently uploading it, so it'll be up very shortly. It needs a red arrow and a circle. Those are so out of vogue. Not too much has really been changed about range stuff outside of shotguns. Shotguns will definitely have some nice quality of life to them. The Agrippina? Wait, no, how was I saying it before? Fuck, now I can't remember how I was saying it. Agrippina? No, wait, that's how people wanted me to say it. How was I saying it in the wrong way so I can remember to continue saying it like that? I'll stick some AI in there for people to complain about. Alright, gotta put some tags on this. Darktide, Warhammer, tier list, best melee weapon, melee tier, best melee Darktide, best melee weapon, Darktide tier list. And then I'll just put Arbites. Of course, search engine optimization. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Darktide update. Okay, good. Good enough. Darktide. That one. Okay, next. Done, done, done. Alright, this will probably take fucking forever to process. But hey, it'll at least be processing while I'm doing this. I have been a busy bee. It's uploading pretty fast, so that's good. It's first tour guardsman. What did you send me? You sent me a picture that's infinitely tiny. It's like you sent me the thumbnail. Is that your... I can't see what that is. I cannot even fathom. I can't read it. I'm telling you. I can't read it. It's physically small. It doesn't enhance. Are you talking about the guy that commented about the one punch and then you shut him down? Rumbler will make its way up here. Don't you worry. I bet you can guess right where that is gonna go. Man, if I had that picture, it would give me all the context I needed, but I guess not. Huh. Took you over an hour and 2 bottles of water. You drink water? Ew. Did you read that? You read them out loud? Like it's all the hot takes thing? He's committed to farming, is what it is. He asked someone else to plant the crops for him, and he just went out there and reaped what they sowed. A monster white guy. I've actually never had a monster, I don't think, but I do really love Celsius. Have you ever had a Celsius? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's a much more productive subsidiary of Mystery than Mystery himself is, I think. If he gave me 10% of his net profits, I think we would have an arrangement, but he keeps refusing this for some reason. Thank you, Shiny Bika. The Rock is not on here. Oh shit, that reminds me. Hold on. Shh, secrets. 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 Okay, nothing happened. You're my PR manager? My temptation to drop a slur right now is growing by the moment. Slur percentage just rose by like 7%. Just to see how good the PR is that I pay you for. Slur tier list? Are we rating how offensive it is or how funny it is? Because I think there's some that are funny. I definitely am a hard guy to quality control because I'll just destroy my own content sometimes. But you know what? At least my quality is getting better, I think. That guy's a tard. Andrew, that was actually his tentative title for the video. I had to talk him off the cliff on it. He said, what should I title this? This guy is a tard with big red arrows pointing at the comment? And I said, no, be nice. Like me, Mr. E, the nice guy. Oh, good. Okay, I see. Shiny Pika. It's got the... Alright, so there'd be like a scatter plot of slurs. That's what I would put. I would never put Tard in the title, okay? I am nothing if not a diplomat. Who can dislike Mystery, except for all the people that patently dislike Mystery? But they don't dislike me for good reasons, you know. They just dislike me because they hate me because they ain't me, you know. You know that. You know that old saying. Oh, no, there's nothing down there. Don't look down there. Nothing down there. Who the fuck is Mr. F? But Andrew, you don't understand. If he curbs that sort of behavior in his like viewer base, he can't make videos farming their comments. Like if you chase away all the people who are going to leave you comments that you can react to, you're just undermining your own bottom line, right? That's React content. All right. Well, we got 75 people here, and that seems like good enough to start, and everybody else can catch up later. But we have simplified the rankings, and obviously this is a ranged ranking tier list, so it's going to be a little simpler than yesterday. But hello, everyone. Mr. E here, and we are talking ranged tier list for Darktide circa mid-2025. We have just entered into the mid-year summer hiatus for Fat Shark, and we are just post the Arbites launch, which means that we have received a couple of buffs to a few weapons, but no nerfs have come to the Plasma Gunner thing yet, so it'll still reflect its current power. If you are a time traveler from the future, let us know what ended up happening to the plasma gun. Maybe it's in like the worst tier now. But as you can see in front of you, we have 60 weapons to go through today. There are 60 weapons of all varieties, including all marks in the ranged category for Darktide. And we got to break down how we're going to categorize these things. The categorization for range weapons is a lot simpler than melee weapons, because with melee weapons, not only do you have to consider your damage breakpoints and the armor penetration values and the move sets and the physical like properties of how you can move when you're using the weapon, all that stuff is such a complicating factor. Melee is just such a more complicated thing in Darktide. A lot of the weapons just come down to pure raw DPS output and just usability. So if you're a weapon that pumps damage and you're easy to use, you're going to rank pretty highly. But let's start at the very top here. There are a couple of select weapons in the game that just break the game. These are weapons that I'm going to be making videos on in the future to talk about, because they are fundamentally altering the way that the game has to be designed, because they just do not play by the same rules as everything else. And so, yeah, they just, like, the game has to be power crept around them in order to keep them in check. And I am kind of thinking about, you know, maybe that they definitely absolutely should be nerfed. So there aren't that many in this tier, and the one that is definitely getting nerfed is not in this tier, just to let you know. We've got the meta tier. This represents all of the weapons that are just super solid, good damage throughput, can be used as a quality secondary or even a primary in certain builds. They're applicable across classes if they have cross-class play, but you can't go wrong with this in your ranged slot, and a lot of times they offer something on a certain class that can't be found anywhere else. For best of off-meta, these are weapons that maybe they aren't exactly 100% as perfect as the meta weapons are, but they're still pretty dang close, right? And they are going to offer you reasonable amounts of damage. They are usually specialized at killing like one type of enemy, but maybe they lack damage when you're considering like horde clear, or maybe they're not the best at like sniping targets or removing armor from the field. They're usually lacking in like one category, but you know, if you just play around that limitation, you're going to be doing all right. Then we've got needs a little something. There's so many weapons in this list that just need that little something. I can't really put my finger on what it is, but they just aren't quite there. And if they just had like a little bit more accuracy or a little bit more rate of fire or stagger potential or whatever it might be, depending on the weapon, they would be in that higher tier. And that takes me to needs a lot of something. There are weapons in here that I just like, they just need to throw the book at them and like be like, hey, here's a nice big buff, go crazy. Because there's a lot of weapons that have been left behind the curve in terms of the meta being updated, and they just aren't able to realistically compete anymore, and I would love to see them get brought up a lot. In fact, there's one weapon that I'm thinking of for the Ogrin that got absolutely left behind with this recent update, and it needs a lot of something to be brought back into the limelight. And of course, finally, we have the Vigilant autoguns tier, which I'm reserving solely for the fucking Vigilant autoguns. I hate these weapons. They are such garbage, and I think they're the worst weapons in the game. So we'll talk about them more when we get to them, but that's the rough approximation of what the tiers are. Let's go ahead and place one weapon into each tier so that we can understand and get a baseline for what we're talking about. For Vigilant autoguns, obviously Mystery subbing should be in the Vigilant autoguns tier. I don't know, maybe it needs a little something, right? It needs a little something. Mystery subbing, it's, you know, it's pretty good most days, but hey, it leaves something to be desired, you know. Maybe once we have 25,000 subs, I'll move it up to meta or off meta, but we'll work on it. So the Vigilant autogun, let's put this one in there, right? It doesn't really matter. I don't even know the names of the stupid Vigilant autoguns marks. They are just such garbage. Not a single one of them has any good damage throughput. They don't have any good DPS potential. They can't penetrate armor. They aren't accurate or stable to fire. Your aim will be pulling all over the place when you're trying to shoot with them. They don't have sights. They don't have precision at long range. Like, they are just, and also the sound design in them just makes me feel like I'm firing some sort of like piece of plastic trash. I hate the way these weapons feel and sound. Everything about them screams a weapon that was abandoned like halfway through development, and like it was created for a fundamentally different game where like all the weapons sucked and were just like boring Call of Duty style shooty weapons, but even worse than like Call of Duty weapons. And yeah, that's sort of how I feel about all these Vigilant autoguns. So I mean, obviously, you know, it's going to go in this tier. For a needs a lot of something tier, this is where I'm going to be putting my twin-linked stubbers. So the twin-linked stubbers are an Ogrin weapon, and these used to be one of the dominant weapons for gunlugger Ogrins up until the recent Ogrin changes. The Ogrins, unfortunately, well, I mean, actually fortunately, received a lot of changes to their point-blank barrage ability, and all of the changes to that ability completely shit on this weapon, to the point where it is now the least usable weapon on the Ogrin class, and they would have to either fundamentally change the way this weapon works or fundamentally change the way that point-blank barrage works to bring it back, because no longer is it necessary to have a high fire rate like they do in order to apply all the fire stacks on point-blank barrage, and you know, conversely, if you were playing with the Gorgonum, I think this is the Gorgonum, you don't need to have the rending thing to penetrate with these high, the larger bullets for this. These weapons just don't benefit from any of the talents on the Ogrin tree anymore, which is so funny because these weapons used to be the sole weapons that benefited from both point blank barrage and lucky bullet, and now neither one of them benefit these weapons at all because now lucky bullet benefits like single shot weapons like the Rumbler way better, and point blank barrage got changed so that it's way better on stuff like the Ripper guns. So these weapons need to be buffed in a lot of ways, and not least of which, as Martin mentions, these things will consume enough ammo for 2 players on a team, and you'll only do as much range damage as like 1 player. So they're just very, very ammo inefficient. They don't have good damage throughput. Basically, they were being buoyed and kept in their strong position by the talents that were in the tree before, and now that those have been removed, the facade has fallen away and they've been left out in the wind. For a needs a little something weapon. Oh, where's my one that I was going to pick out? Hold on, I got to pull up my list. It's this one. This one right here. Perfect. So this is the Acatran Mark II Heavy Las Pistol. This weapon is so close to being really, really good. So there's 2 variants to the Las Pistol. There's this one. Where is it? Find it, find it, find it. Someone spot it. Where is it? I'm missing it. Is it up, down? Did I not put it on here? Am I crazy? Where's the other last pistol? Third row, third row. One. That's not a last pistol. That's not a last pistol. That's not a last pistol. That's a last pistol. Okay. All right. There it is. There it is. You're right. Okay. There it is. So, okay. So this last pistol is the Mark X. This one fires really, really fast. And this las pistol, because it fires fast and has solid damage and has the ability to apply fire burn stacks when you hit with it, it actually ends up making it a really solid Psyker weapon that is very forgiving. You can just spam the shots because there's 0 recoil to this weapon, and you can just spam the shots, and I think it puts it into the best off-meta tier. This weapon, by comparison, the Mark II, is much slower firing, and even though it is a las pistol, somehow it has recoil, like a little bit, but it's enough to make you miss your shots, and when you do miss your shots on this slower firing variant, it's very punishing. Wait, am I messing that up, Adamigo? I could have sworn that the 10 was fast. Hold on, I can pull this up real quick and I can figure it out. Ba-da-ba. Where's the point? Oh, you're probably right. No, hold on. 0.23. That's really slow. And then... oh man, of course they don't put the stats on this one so that I can't see how fast it actually is. The long barrel is the slow one. Okay, reverse them. There you go. Sure, whatever. Whichever one is faster, guys, okay? The faster firing one is better. I believe, yeah, now that you mention, I think this is the good one and this is the slow one. Whichever one fires really slow sucks because you're going to commit and shoot and miss your target, and it's a very, very punishing. With these las pistols, you want to be hitting subsequent hits over and over and over again because they have a really nice blessing on there that can raise your crit chance every time you hit a subsequent headshot, and that's one of the strongest blessings in the weapon. But yeah, if you can hit subsequent shots, you scale your damage crazy. If you miss a shot, it's a huge penalty on the slower firing one, and it just needs, listen, it's not a bad weapon, but it just needs a little something. That's what I'm saying. Okay, 2 is fast, X is slow. All right, perfect. And there we go. That's the right way to have it set up here. All right, meta weapons. Well, meta weapons, let's go ahead and just take our newest addition, the Mark III Street Sweeper, whatever this is called, Exterminator Shotgun, and drop it up there into meta. This thing is pushing the limits of what could be considered, like, you know, reasonably powerful in the game. This weapon pumps damage. We're talking 1,000+ damage on a shot without any additional buffs put into it, like all the close range damage that it can stack. It can pump some serious damage into bosses. It honestly kills most targets that are not carapace at medium range. And It is just a devastating, devastating weapon that comes out really, really quickly. It has a very quality ammo economy because you get like 70 shots with this thing, and everyone represents at least 1 kill, if not 5 if you're firing it into a horde. It has this awesome fan-shaped spread, like a street sweeper style, and therefore it's just an amazing weapon to dump a few shots into a horde and thin it out very nicely. And of course, you get 6 free shells with this, which is a quality of life buff I wish that the other shotguns had, even though they've got their own things going on. But those shells on the top rack there being free does, like, you know, that's extra value because you get those 6 every time you pick up any amount of ammo, even a small ammo pack. So make certain you're using those, not like Mr. E, who always forgets to use every single one during his games. But for this one, it's a shock round, and that shock round actually does damage and paralyzes the enemy. So if you've got like a bulwark or someone with his back turned to you and he's not activated yet, load this shot, the shock shell, and shoot him, and then advance on him in melee, and you will very easily secure the kill. But yeah, just excellent weapon, solid addition, and it's one of the biggest reasons why the Arbites class is as powerful as it is, you know, this is an amazing range weapon. All right, we got to talk about weapons that break the game, and there's only 2 of them, guys. This weapon right here is one of them. This is the Purgatus Flame Staff. I'm certain that many of you probably guessed. It's unfortunate that this weapon kind of breaks the game because it's one of the only reasons to justify the Psyker's existence at the current juncture. You know, this weapon scales infinitely, and that is a problem in Darktide, right? Because the main way that the game scales difficulty on you and attempts to kill you is by increasing enemy horde densities and crowding you and removing the space you can actually play in. But weapons that have vast AoE and no damage fall off, have infinite cleave like the Purgatus Staff, just ignore that fact. So this was something I was saying in my recent video where I was talking about how would you potentially make the game harder if they buffed everything in the game? How would you make it harder to compensate? Well, the thing is if you were to buff enemy spawns and make the game harder by increasing enemy spawns or increasing enemy health, this weapon would scale along with the enemy spawns. It scales 1-to-1 with enemy spawns. It's an exponential scaler. It's got no problem. You can kill 10,000 enemies as easily as you can kill 10 enemies. And in a game like Darktide, that's fundamentally an issue. Now, the Psyker class gets away with this kind of because they're supposed to be a glass cannon, but sufficiently coordinated teams and sufficiently skilled Psykers, not me, but they can stay out of harm's way and just do their thing and put out millions upon millions of damage. I mean, I've left in like New Havoc with how dense these hordes are. If you have a metal horde, a mixed metal horde, and you've got like purple and orange blessings on there, you can leave the first room with your Psyker having 900,000, 1 million damage. It's absurd how much damage this thing can put out because it's just fire and forget. Simply fire and forget. It took no skill. So that is one of 2 weapons that we'll discuss that are breaking the game. And from there, let's just go ahead and jump in. I'm going to go family by family generally because with range weapons, most of the time, the weapon families are the defining trait, although there are some within weapon families that do stand out. So I'll be certain to mention those and pull them out when they are exceptional. But for instance, this first weapon family I want to talk about here, I don't really think there's any huge standouts. And that's the Hellbore lasguns. I want to put the Hellbore lasguns into the needs a little something tier. All of these lasguns play very slightly different, and they all have different bayonet properties, but they all are lacking something to make them competitive in the actual game. They have recently, if you've noticed, if you've been watching the patch notes over the past, I want to say like 6 months or so, these weapons, these Hellbores have received small buff after small buff after small buff. They're creeping up in terms of power and quality of life, but they still aren't there. And I'd have to say, again, in the right hands, they can be very, very potent, and they do compete against carapace and stuff like that. But it's a very difficult weapon to use, and it's not helped by the fact it has no sights. You have to track your target while you're charging it up. It's just not a very forgiving weapon to use, and it's one of those weapons like our friend the Mark 10 las pistol here, where if you miss a shot, you have wasted a big amount of time and a lot of effective DPS. Now, what they did in the recent patch was they increased the diameter of the Hellbore's las bullets, I guess you could call them, so it makes it a little bit easier to clip enemies. But even that, I don't think is approaching their fundamental issue, which is the draw to shooting time. And when you're playing a class like the Veteran, and it's Darktide, right? There's no sniper role in Darktide, as much as people want there to be rattlings in the game. And these are sniper weapons. They require you to set up and premeditate your shot and line up on a target and then hold down the trigger and then fire. And that takes time, and it takes space that you generally don't have, especially on higher difficulties. So the more stuff is on the screen, the more crowded you're going to be, and the less effective these weapons are going to be. They'd be very, very effective in orcs and stuff like that, where you're not being swarmed. But the second you get swarmed, this weapon is getting put away, and you're pulling out your melee weapon, right? So I want to say these definitely need a little something to be good. Let's go on to another similar weapon category. That is the Infantry lasguns. Now, the Infantry lasguns, I think they're solid. I don't think I have any complaints about these weapons. I'm gonna give. Let's see here. I need to pull up my list to show which ones are actually the right marks here. The Mark 9, the brown one. This one is my favorite. I'll give that one best off meta. You can do a lot of work. I've seen a lot of veterans, and I've done it myself. You can do a lot of work with these weapons. They have potentially infinite ammo economy because you're just running shock trooper with them on the veteran. Thank you, Mike Hunt. I love mentioning Mike Hunt, and this time I get to talk about Mike Hunt really early on to the broadcast, so most people will catch it. When I am going to put this one live, though, so you'll definitely hear it here. But this one has a really nice set of sights on it, which I think is what sets these weapons into a very competitive category. They're one of the best aiming weapons in the game because they have those holographic sights, and they're just so snappy. They do solid damage on headshots. They don't blow away carapace or anything, but they'll get through it, and you aren't putting any stress on the team's ammo economy because you're playing veteran and you're using shock trooper, right? I don't think you would ever use this weapon. I'm pretty certain these are available on Psyker and Zealot too. Actually, I can't tell you for certain that that's true, but yeah, this one is very, very solid, and just you can use it as a quality sidearm and pick specials, pick elites, all that stuff, and it does good damage. It's in a good spot. It's not overly powerful, but you won't be falling behind in terms of damage with this. And I love it. This weapon does really fit that veteran fantasy. It's definitely the guardsman fantasy, and I'm glad they are where they are. The other ones, the other variants, I'm not saying that they're any weaker numerically, but I want them to get a little bit extra something, just a little bit. They are at the very, very top of this needs a little something tier. This one I always have the best results with because the sights are the best, and because I think this one has the highest damage rate. But yeah, these weapons are all quality. I have no problems with them. They have good damage throughput. It's a solid weapon that you can use all the way into end game. It's only once the hordes just get absurd and havoc that they really start to fall off, and you should be looking to alternatives on the veteran class. But the veterans as a whole are kind of lacking for options right now. Okay, let's do something a little bit more interesting and talk about the revolvers. Oh boy. Okay, I love revolvers, first of all. I'm going to put I guess they would just be off meta, right? I want to kind of be restrictive in what is meta. Revolvers aren't as good as our new shotgun. So I have to say that these are off-meta weapons, but revolvers can be used to absolutely great effect in this game. Both of these variants are very, very strong. So you have the Zerona, that is the aim down sights variant. This one gets to make absolutely peak use out of the surgical talent, which stacks your crit chance the longer you hold down the aim down sight. And truly it is, as you say there, Liquid, truly this is the sniper rifle of Darktide. Whereas the Vigilant autoguns want to be sniper rifles, these things seriously are. These things are every bit of that fantasy, and they hit for like 500, 600 damage, and they have both a good set of blessings on them because they have finesse boosts and they have critical boost, which means that their crit hits get multiplied and they have a higher crit chance. So you can very easily max out your crit chance with this weapon. The problem with these weapons, as opposed to some of the more meta weapons, is that they lack in the ammo capacity. There are weapons that have similar damage and better damage against certain types of enemies that have more ammo. And just fundamentally, I don't understand that from a balance perspective, because these weapons, think about it. How big is a revolver bullet, right? You should be able to carry more than 60 revolver bullets. And they do the same damage as the weapon that I want to talk about next. Oh, let's first talk about the fan the hammer one. So we've got, this is the sniper one, and this is the fan the hammer. So this one, you wouldn't use your surgical talent on this one, but being able to reload all of the shots and then fan the hammer in quick succession is very, very powerful. And since these things have a very high crit chance, they're actually quite good on the new Arbites class, because they're available on Arbites. Because if you get the rending buff, there's a hand cannon blessing on them that gives you 60% rending on crit hit. The Arbites can stack up to 33% crit chance if you take the left keystone and all the talents above it that give crit chance. And then this thing has even more crit, so you can get like a ton of rending, and you can 2-tap a crusher. You just fan the hammer at them and they go down instantly. Again, the problem, the operative issue here being that they just do not carry all that much ammo, but they're very, very fast. They're speedy to pull out, so they're great for people who are playing in a very active play style. They're excellent zealot weapons because zealots generally really rely on just staying with their melee out 99% of the time, and then you whip over and you snap off one shot with your revolver to stop a trapper that's coming in on you. And I think that's probably the best use case for these revolvers. I would love to see a situation in which I could go back to, like, for whenever Veteran gets reworked. If you look way back in my log of videos, very early on, I loved playing with Executioner stance and Revolver, because I think those two go perfectly together. You've got the reload speed, and you can see where targets are, and it's so awesome to snipe with this thing. But that's maybe a future thing that will get buffed up. I really hope these weapons can be good on whatever they end up doing to Veteran. But I said that these weapons are overshadowed by a similar role weapon, and that is the Bolter. The Bolter is definitely a meta weapon. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense if this were a Darktide game or Warhammer game and the Bolter wasn't one of the best weapons in the game. But this thing has, as compared to the Revolver here, this thing has 125 ammo, or sorry, no, it has 100 ammo, and then it can have up to 125 if you're rolling one of those extra ammo talents, right? But these weapons have 65, right? So to me, I don't understand how this weapon, which has the same damage per shot and has a magazine of 15 rounds and has, you know, sniper-like precision. This is also a sniper rifle, just like these weapons are. You can shoot all the way across the map and hit targets with no accuracy loss. Plus, it can mow down bosses. Plus, it has the synergy for dog explosions, which isn't going to get patched for at least a couple months. So, yeah, this weapon is just nuts. It's disgusting. It's a boss murderer. It's a special sniper. It has insane rending without any rending buffs. And so you can devote all the buffs on it to just stacking either Puncture, Cavalcade for the additional crit chance, or Pinning Shot, or whatever it's called, Pinning Fire, that stacks additional strength. every time you stagger an enemy, which is on every shot. So the issue this weapon does have is that it is slow to pull it out, as you say there, Alexander. However, one of the classes that can use this, which is the Zealot, can use the throwing knife to completely skip the equip animation, so you can go from meleeing to throw knife and then instantly shooting the bolter, mag dumping into a boss's face within like a second. For other classes, it's just a little bit more of learning and making that space in order to get the weapon pulled out. But honestly, I don't find a lot of problems with it, especially because the reload is so much less penalizing than the revolvers, and they fit a similar role, right? So this weapon's definitely meta, very disgusting, and I'll give meta to its sibling as well, which is the bolt pistol. The bolt pistol. The bolt pistol is like a revolver, but it has a magazine and it has 80 rounds instead of 60 for some reason. This weapon has very solid damage. It has good accuracy, it's snappy to pull out, and it also has those same really quality blessings like puncture, but also it can be used to great effect if you aren't really that focused on having shooting being your primary thing. This is an excellent side piece weapon for the veteran and for the Arbites class, because both of them can be using their grenades and get extra radius out of the blast radius perk on this weapon. That blast radius perk works whether or not you have the weapon currently actively in your hand. So for the Arbites, it makes your Arbites grenades, which you'll just throw 35 of in a single game, have an additional 25% radius, and obviously veterans would use it with shredders. So yeah, this weapon single-handedly enables and buffs Grenade X to, unnecessarily, and I think it's great for the Arbites class because the Arbites can just stay on his melee. Like I was saying before with Zealot, Arbites is kind of like basically new Zealot. You stay on your melee like 95% of the time, and you whip out your range weapon whenever you need to pick a special. This is a great special picking weapon because it comes out crazy fast. It will kill any special on a headshot, well, except for a charger, and it'll kill things like Reapers in 2 shots to the head. So it's not even like that bad. And if you want to focus it on like just pure damage, you can go for, I think it's called Deadly Accurate, which gives 100% critical weak spot damage, and you can very easily get critical hits with the amount of crit that the Arbites can get. So very solid, definitely a meta weapon. Let's go ahead and put another Arbites meta weapon up there while we're at it. Obviously, both of the variants of this shotgun are crazy good. This is the Mark 8 long nose. I don't remember what these are actually called as far as the marks go. But this weapon is a fucking sniper rifle. This is a beam rifle. It will kill from, I don't even know if it has a maximum range. I point this thing across like the longest possible gaps at snipers that I can barely even see. One pellet nicks them and they die. So this thing is disgusting. It also pumps crazy boss damage. If you aim this at like, if you manage to get yourself behind a beast of Nurgle and just pump 4 shots into their back, and you have the talents that I always recommend, the one where successive shots give you 20% strength and landing all the pellets gives you 20% strength. Disgusting damage. Honestly, I don't really notice a whole lot of huge difference between the having the 6 shell, because this one has a 6 shell magazine, this one has a 4 shell magazine. I don't really feel that penalty too much because the reload speed is honestly not all that bad. And this weapon has a different special shell on the top. It's a brittleness shell. So you can open up a fight with a crusher or 2 by just hitting them with one of these brittleness shells, and you can 2-shot a crusher with this. You can shoot them with a brittleness shell and then shoot them one more time and they die. So yeah, it's a anything killer, and it's just so ammo efficient. The only place it's gonna lack as compared to its brother is in clearing through hordes and stuff because it doesn't have that spread. But there's so much synergy on the class with this weapon because it has great crit scaling and it has great cleave potential, especially if you're running some of those cleave talents on their RBBs. I mean, this is a disgustingly good weapon, and it's on a class that gets a lot of value out of it. So definitely meta tier. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about Ogrin weapons. Ogrin weapons. Well, let's do the kickback first. The kickback here, I'll give it best off meta. You know, the kickback is a solid enough weapon. It only really starts to fall off at very high havoc, and it's unfortunate that there are so many modifiers in havoc that directly fuck the kickback for no reason, right? The kickback's whole thing is that its damage on a single shot is really high, right? As compared to the, I think this is 1,000 damage, this is like 900 or so damage. The kickback does what, like 1,500, 1,600 damage? Let's pull it up here. I've got it on the side screen. Kick back. How much damage does this do on a shot? It does 1,800 damage on a body shot to unarmored. To unyielding, it's doing 1,900, and weak spots are up to 2,300. So, yeah, this weapon does some damage, I would say. It's got some pretty decent numbers on it. The problem being is, and the whole idea behind it is that if you don't kill on the first shot, now you've got a problem, right? Because now you have to actually reload and shoot again. And every time you have to reload and shoot a second time at the same target, that's a huge waste of ammo because this thing has about 50 rounds, if I remember correctly, in its overall ammo capacity, and it just takes forever to do. Now, it has really good synergy with some of the new talents within the Ogrin tree, such as the ability to get, I think it's like, what, 15% reload speed? It's 15% reload speed when you hit 3 more enemies, and it's great at, oh yeah, it's 47, and then it's a little extra if you have the extra ammo capacity from the tree. But it's great at cleaving through hordes, just like our Street Sweeper shotgun here. And if you are running anything that is non-Havoc, and if you're running a Havoc that doesn't have either the orange blessing or the green pus hardened skin blessing, this thing will clean up. It only really doesn't do anything if you get the crushers or maulers out there, but everybody else, it pulverizes them instantly. It just turns them into paste. So it's a really, really solid weapon that does suffer from enemies' health pools just being slightly over where it is. It doesn't have particularly good like boss damage or anything like that, but hey, it's a great side piece weapon for the Ogrin, and you really can't go wrong with it, right? It's solid. I definitely miss it being as dominant as it was prior to the Ogrin rework because it's been completely replaced by one we'll talk about here in a bit. But yeah, it's solid. I have to say it's off meta, but yeah, if you have any damage reductions to enemies, it's gonna be a fucking pain to use this thing. In a similar vein, double-barreled shotgun. I want to say that double-barreled shotgun is probably off meta. Double-barreled shotgun has a good ammo capacity to it. I believe it has 90 ammo now or something like that. You know, it's not suffering in terms of ammo. I think that's what they buffed on it recently, wasn't it? And it's just a really, really solid weapon on a variety of classes. On the Veteran, you can obviously use Weapon Specialist with it to reload 1 shell every time you get a melee kill. On the Arbites, you can actually make it into a triple-barreled shotgun, and Castigator Stance will grant it an extra shell every time you get a kill with it active. It's a solid weapon, and I think Fat Shark understands that it is in a similar vein to Kickback, where it's like, it doesn't really need any more damage buffs. They buffed it very, very slightly in terms of its damage to unyielding, so like Reapers and bosses and stuff, but they didn't overall tweak it that much in comparison to how they did the other shotguns, because I think they understand that fundamentally this weapon is strong. You just need to be like right there. Like the enemy needs to be like right in your freaking eye in order for it to happen. So that's the only downside of the weapon. But yeah, a sufficiently skilled player can make some serious use of this thing. I don't think I've ever played a game with someone who is using this shotgun who didn't just like super frag the scoreboard, like, because this thing pumps some serious numbers, especially if you just fire it into like a horde or a mixed horde. It does suffer with armor, any bulwarks, any carapace and in the mix, and you're just getting a bunch of dinks, but you've got man stopper, so if you get crits it cleaves through everything, and you've got what's the other blessing that's really, really good on it? Scatter shot, so you can get a higher chance of getting a crit. So yeah, regular revolver should be in meta. It's definitely in the best of the off meta tier, but I don't think that regular revolver meets the meta standard that we're setting here. It's definitely worse than bolter and bolt pistol and stuff like that, because of the, I'd have to say mainly because of the ammo capacity being so much lower, and obviously it doesn't have the utility and the ability to kill bosses and stuff these weapons do. This meta tier is going to be very, very restrictive, so that's why I'm setting it up there. But these weapons are all definitely Havoc viable, and you notice that here I don't have any, well, you guys haven't seen these yet, but the version that I posted, or I'm actually posting right now, it's going to be uploaded probably in the next like 10 minutes. The melee tier, I actually separated it into like, okay, this is the Havoc viability line, and everything above it is going to be worth it to play into Havoc, and everything below it's going to make your life pain. I don't think it really applies in the same way to range weapons, because there's weapons that are low down that penetrate armor just fine and can be used in Havoc. It's just gonna not be as ammo efficient, right? Like, you can use them into all things. So generally I wouldn't say that anything here is like super bad to use into Havoc. It's just like, you need to know, like, okay, duh, if I see a bunch of crushers, don't try to shoot them with a shotgun. You need to use your brain. Speaking of using your brain, we got more Ogrin weapons to talk about. Let's get these done. The Ripper guns. I think these Ripper guns just need a little something. You know, they got some buffs in the recent patch, and they are doing all right. They have the weird thing about the Ripper guns, right, is that they are not really committing to any one thing. They aren't good at long range, and they aren't particularly crazy up close. I wish they would be one or the other, and they, how do I say this? It's like they're so close to being really good. I could envision a future where the Ripper guns, because they have one particular blessing I really love and want that to, like, oh, in the order, it doesn't matter within the tier. It's just kind of generally speaking about them. You'll just have to listen to my words. But like, they have this blessing on them called Can Opener, right? Oh, welcome, Gray. Thanks for joining the Mystery Men. They have this blessing called Can Opener that instantly applies 16 stacks of brittleness. So they trivialize a single crusher or something like that. That would be awesome if they had like a combo move they could follow up where you could stick an enemy with it and then pull the trigger and like blow them away. I don't know. But the thing that really annoys me about these weapons is, for some reason, they're supposed to be like weapons that you can whip out and use like really quickly, like, and mow down a horde, but they are so unstable and they take so long to set up and put into the braced form. I really love, I mean, I've done, Steven, as you say there, I've done the stabby blasty build before, and it's like, you know, it's fun, but it's just a little bit too janked for me to consider it like an off-meta thing. Like, you wouldn't take this and really realistically be using it on the Ogrin. It's fun as a meme, but it's almost there, is what I'm saying. It's almost there to being good. If they had like a little bit more accuracy, or like that braced mode came out faster or something like that, they're burgeoning on being a quality weapon that performs with the Ogrin. But as it currently stands, you know, if I want to do blasting things at close range, I do the kickback, or, you know, more likely I use the rumbler like all the fucking time. And if I want to do anything at long range, I'm going for the heavy stubber. I think a lot of this comes down to the Ogrin just not having a huge selection of weapons right now, and they didn't want to overpower these things when they buffed them. They gave them some additional finesse damage and stuff. Their damage honestly isn't bad, and I'm not saying, again, right, this doesn't say these weapons are bad. This says that these weapons just need a little a little something, and then they could be something that you'd be worth using the ammo on. And they are also another one of those weapons for the Ogrin that is just, it's not very ammo efficient. It is just not very ammo efficient to play with Ripper guns as opposed to anything else. And because ammo on Havoc is such a high value thing, it's nice to be able to have a class like Ogrin that their ranged ammo weapon doesn't require almost any ammo at all. And there's definitely things on the class you can do that. Speaking of ranged weapons that don't require any ammo, let's talk about some Psyker staves. We've got a couple to go through here. We've got, I mean, I had to look at this thing. I'm pretty certain that this is the Void Strike with the silver tip, right? The Silver Eagle. Oh, I'm on the melee tier. That would probably not have the range weapons on it, huh? Yes. Okay. So this is the Void Strike staff. This Void Strike staff, I think it also belongs in the needs a little something tier. Void Strike used to be in a really good spot when Havoc was different, right? But now that there's so much stuff coming at you, and what has taken precedence is, you can either cleave through everything with the Purgatus, or you can use the Void Blast Staff and have infinite stagger. And that stagger is incredibly valuable in Havoc for obvious reasons, being able to disrupt enemy formations like that. And this weapon, it does really good damage. A person who knows how to use this weapon and position themselves correctly can do some serious damage, just beaming these like the orbs like through sequential enemies, especially when you get crits on them. But I think it's fallen behind the two stabs that are actually good on the class, which are the Void Blast and the Purgatus. I'm going to go ahead and put the Void Blast into the meta tier. I think everyone probably saw that coming. This weapon is just disgusting. In the right hands, it's like you can't be touched. I mean, go watch like a skilled player. I've seen some like Chocobi montage material with this thing, because it has that inherent stagger where enemies all just get shoved down, and it is the highest it's the highest stagger rating you can get on anything in the game. It's akin to veteran shouts. It's akin to like grenade explosions. It'll knock crushers fully to the ground. So you really don't need it to have the highest damage in the world, and it just is very useful. So this thing is just a great disruptor. Again, Psykers that know how to give themselves spacing, that know how to use this thing to like push enemies in the direction they want, are very rare, but exceedingly powerful when they can pull it off. And so go watch like JTC or Choco, like one of those people who put thousands of hours into playing with just this weapon, demonstrate how it's done. But this is the weapon where, if you're gonna focus on a weapon that requires like charging up, it's gonna produce better results for you than the Void Strike. For the Void Strike, as I was saying before, I think the limiting factor in the current meta of Havoc is that stuff doesn't really just come at you in a line anymore. It used to be that you could use this thing and fucking cross-map snipe, groups of shotgunners and stuff like that, but now, what do you do with this weapon when there's bosses on you and the twins are on you and all that shit? The Void Blast Staff allows you to clear space and make space for your team. The Purgatus Staff, obviously, it just allows you to spray everything around you and it'll die eventually. And this one is just, it's a little bit behind the curve. I'm not saying it's bad. It probably doesn't honestly need buffs, but yeah. But what does need buffs, let's do the last staff, is the Electrokinetic Force Staff. I love this staff, as you probably noticed, because I've made a good number of builds with it in the past. It's such a fun little zappy sort of thing, but it just is so far behind the other staffs. It's really sad, and for whatever reason, for as little power as you get out of this, each channeled blow, right? You hold down right click, you channel the lightning, and you shoot the shocky lightning out. That gives you like 25% of your fucking peril meter with full peril resistance. Like, it's crazy. You can barely shoot any lightning at all. Versus the Purg staff, I can just shoot flames all fucking day without even having to worry about it, which is incredibly important on the Psyker. The higher you can keep your peril without going over the top, the more damage you can do. So you want to ride that line, and so if you have a weapon that passively generates a lot less, you can get way more casts at a high percentage. This weapon, if you cast it all, you're exploding yourself. And it's like, if you wanted to do this, you just play Smite instead now. With all the buffs that have happened to empowered psionics and stuff, you just go with Smite instead. It's really sad though, because I love the fantasy of this weapon. It's so cool, and if you're playing like, heresy difficulty or whatever, this staff will just kill everything, but then so will the Purgatus or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. But lightning staff, you will blow yourself up like all the fucking time. It'll even blow you up if you're playing Scryer's Gaze, because it loves to somehow trigger the explosion animation when it's that like 1 millisecond where Scryer's Gaze, the overloading thing, isn't active. So basically the only way to play with this staff to any effect is left click spam, and they even nerfed that because they got rid of the quell canceling thing. So blah. As far as blessings on the Void Blast staff, you could go with what is it called, the Peril Surge. The one that adds crit chance when your peril is higher, and then you can go with the one where it shoots 2 shots on crit, or the one that spreads fire on crit. There's honestly a lot of good blessings on the Void Blast on all these stabs, honestly. Okay, what should be next? What about the shotguns? Oh boy. Okay, so shotguns. We've got 3 shotguns to talk about. And I'm going to put these 2 into the best off meta tier. So this is the Agrippina shotgun. This is the Slug shotgun. It is akin to our Mark 8 here. It's kind of like a sniper rifle, and it does reasonable damage. It's got reasonable ammo economy. It's a very solid special and elite picker, and I have no problems with it. It's a really fast weapon, because now that these shotguns have been moved up into that highest mobility category and have very, very low stamina drain per second sprinting, you can actually use these and be exceptionally fast while you're moving around with them, which makes them great sidearms for the Arbites class, since his melee weapons aren't generally very fast moving. So if you're using a slow moving melee weapon on the class, like your shield or whatever, you put this in your secondary, and you can use that to be your mobility when you need to cross a dangerous zone or whatever, and run and gun. So these weapons are great for that purpose, and they honestly have a pretty solid amount of ammo in their capacity now. Note, Magnetic, that the rankings like this way don't matter. These weapons are all meta, and you can choose them for for different purposes. They're different strokes for different folks, but they are all very exceedingly good. Okay, so this is your sniper rifle shotgun, and obviously this is the one that used to be called the Cantrail, but who knows what the fuck it's called now. I think it's the Exceltron or whatever, but this is the fire shotgun. And so the fire shotgun has the ability to apply several debuffs to the enemy, because you have Manstopper and Flechette rounds. Manstopper is the one where on crit it penetrates at his 100 cleave, and it'll go through any number of enemies as long as it doesn't hit Carapace or Bulwark shields. And so you can fire this straight through all the enemies in front of you, and that can also apply to the flame rounds. So if you have a crit coming up, say you're playing Veteran and you are playing on Weapon Specialist, and you get that guaranteed crit after a couple of melee kills, you can swap to this, and then you can guaranteed put a flame round through a whole horde in front of you, and it'll die, because these fire is a very, very potent dot effect in this game. It's probably the best dot effect because it lingers for a very, very long time, as opposed to bleed, which falls off 1 stack per second starting the second after it's applied. Flame stacks will last an incredible amount of time. So yeah, this weapon can be used, one, to kite enemies around because you're super fast with it, and then two, you can turn around and fire into this big ass horde that's chasing you and get this stacked up burn damage. And because it gets burns and because it gets bleeds at the same time, it honestly doesn't do bad boss damage either. So yeah, these weapons are both super solid, definitely nice off meta choices. Not quite as strong in a pound for pound punch as the Arbitrator shotguns, but they're available in all classes for a low price of, they're free, they're already in the game. Okay, compare that to their last cousin here. Just needs a little bit more something to be competitive. It's not quite there yet, but it's close, right? These weapons are all close to being viable into like late game content and having that damage output that we look for, but they're not. This one is just not quite on the level of its brothers. All right, let's see here. Oh, we can put the shredder pistol, shredder auto pistol, guys. Shredder auto pistol needs a lot of something. I'm not gonna lie. Come on, like, okay. So the shredder auto pistol, it just, I want it to be good because it's such a dinky little gun. I think in my brain, I want somehow the meta to change in such a way that the shredder goes back to, because if you played when this game launched, this weapon was the fucking goat. This weapon pumped damage. Like, zealots would be running around with this gun, and they wouldn't even be meleeing. They just run up to enemies and go, and they do so much damage. But it is not as bad as the Vigilant auto guns, because it can actually do damage. It's just that when you are doing damage with it, you are consuming way too much fucking ammo, and it doesn't have enough accuracy to do what it needs to be doing. Because the most direct comparison you can make for the Shredder auto pistol is the Infantry auto guns, and the Infantry auto guns have the ability to actually aim down the sights, and they have amazing crit modifiers when they get crits. This weapon kind of wants to do that, but they gave it the ability to run and gun. And when you are running gunning, so like what they did is, like, when you're running and gunning, your accuracy is fucking zero. It's trash. But when you brace fire with it, it actually has good accuracy. So you don't ever use the run and gun ability for it, because what you do is you just run up to an enemy and then you bullet slide and you shoot while you're sliding. So what's the purpose of the running and gunning thing? I think that maybe they could use some more buffs that lean into that running and gunning and give it some more power there. But really what it comes down to is that this weapon just has a really, really bad ammo economy and doesn't really accomplish very much for every bullet fired. I tried my best to make it work in the Arbites class, like using it to stack up the middle keystone, like getting your stacks really, really quickly. But even then, because it takes you 30 rounds to actually get any effect, yeah, I don't know if it necessarily needs more damage, because they already buffed the damage by, like, I think it was like 30% in that recent patch, but it definitely needs more ammo, because you end up spraying with this weapon a lot inaccurately, and so you miss a lot of shots. But yeah, there was something that this thing could apply, especially if they really leaned into the name, right? Like, this is the Shredder auto pistol. What about if it applied, what if it had applied brittleness or something? Like, it could be a crappy weapon that has low ammo economy if it applied a bespoke effect that no other weapon has, and then you could use it as a sidearm and be like, oh, I need some brittleness on this group of crushers. Like, spray it over there. I don't know, just an idea. It just needs a lot of something to bring it up to a place where I think that anyone would take it over anything reasonably. Since I spoke of it just a second ago, I have to speak about the Vrax, or the auto guns in general, the infantry auto guns. This is the Vrax auto gun, the one that I'm grabbing right here. This weapon is, I think I'm probably being too generous to put it all the way up here in the best off meta stuff. Yeah, it's definitely not as good as any of these anymore. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll put the Vrax in here. In fact, all these auto guns, infantry auto guns, can probably go in this tier. This tier is going to be pretty massive, because I feel like this is true about a lot of weapons in this game. They just need, you think the Vrax should go? Okay, I'll put the Vrax higher. Okay, so we got the Columnus, is this the Agrippina? I can't remember what they changed these names to at this point. Let's scroll down and see where it is. This is this is the Agrippina, this is the Columnus, this is the Vrax, the Mark V, which used to be called the Columnus Mark V. This one has gotten nerf after nerf over the years, but it's still very, very solid. It has a crazy like DPS output. This thing used to have crit chains of 4, which meant that when you got a crit, it actually fired 4 bullets for that 1 bullet worth of ammo, and all of them were effectively crits. So it would do some serious damage. This is one of the best weapons back in the day. It's still competitive, but the ammo is lacking. But if you are looking for a weapon that's very snappy, that you should run and gun and you want to do bullet hose with, this is definitely a very good choice because it has that precise accuracy. You can aim down sights, snap to it. This is like a Call of Duty gun, right? This is just like definitionally a Call of Duty gun. You sprint, and then you do a bullet slide, or you like a dive, and then you just spray someone down. The problem being its ammo capacity is pretty bad. It only holds like 11 magazines of like 56 rounds or so. So yeah, you only get about 500, 600 rounds, and you'll go through those pretty dang quick. And these, I mean, it does very, very solid single target damage, but it suffers against crushers and stuff like that, obviously. But yeah, it's a fine enough weapon. Again, you just have to be smart about when to use it and when not to use it. And it has good blessings as well. My favorite blessings on this are like Dum Dum, which just stacks your strength. It already has a base damage of, I want to say like 75 or something, which is pretty dang high for how fast it fires. And then it can stack Dum Dum and like close quarters damage, what is it called, like killing whatever, close quarters killer or whatever, fire frenzy, that's what a fire frenzy, and get some serious damage. Or one of my favorite things to do with this weapon is to run strip down on it, and you can use it as a stat stick, because this weapon you can run strip down and then you can put a sprint stamina cost reduction as the perk on the weapon, and then you can just use it to ignore ranged attacks forever. Or if you're playing veteran, you can use this weapon plus strip down and sprint around in front of gunfire using that talent in the bottom right tree. But speaking of, you can do the same thing on the Recon lasguns, which I will go ahead and put, let's see, I think they're all just meta-ish. No, I think this is the Mark 12, right? That's my favorite one, the fastest firing one. That one is definitely a meta weapon. I'm not entirely sold to all of them. No, this is the Mark 12. That's the Mark 12. And then, you know what? They're probably all just meta, right? They probably all just meet the standards. So these weapons are just broken because veteran stuff. I wouldn't, yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true that they're off meta. Yeah, I think to point people in the right direction, I think this is important. Honestly, though, I've been recently doing some testing with the middle firing speed one, which is the... Is it this one? Is this the middle firing speed one? And honestly, it has pretty good damage throughput too. The one you want to avoid, in my opinion, is the slowest firing one. Just because it doesn't really accomplish the goal that you have the Recon lasgun for. But these two, the fastest two firing marks, if I've messed this up and I've swapped those two, please forgive me. But the fastest firing one is the best, the Mark 12. I know that for a fact. The middle firing one is definitely like in the ballpark, and then the slowest firing one is not. But these weapons are definitely in the meta tier if you are playing veteran. Okay, that's a good thing to point out there. You have to be playing veteran. I rarely see them used for any other class, but if you are, for instance, maybe a zealot watching this is not for you, okay? It's far too ammo consumptive for non-veterans, but for veterans, stupid. Okay, so I got this swapped, right? There we go. Okay. For veterans, these weapons are just bonkers because of the shock trooper talent that makes their ammo consumption free. And of course you can put some crit on them. Of course you can put headhunter on them, which gives you a stacking crit buff every time you hit a head, which is super easy to do because you're firing 20 rounds per second, so it's pretty easy to hit heads. And of course veteran has up to like 45% stacking crit with all of his various buffs in his tree. So these weapons fire effectively. I believe when I like ran the numbers, I believe that the Mark 12 has an effective, like, if you didn't get any free ammo at all, it has an effective like 70,000 damage in its magazine, or in its ammo capacity, and this one has like 80,000. And of course veteran just multiplies that by 2, so you're talking about yeah, you have like this crazy high damage. You never have to reload, and the reload time takes nothing, and it has 0 recoil. These are also in the fastest category for range weapons, so they're in the ninja category, so you can sprint around. I think it's called assault on range weapons, but yeah, you can sprint around with your 0.7 move speed and be super lightning fast. And they are very good not only at like getting rid of mixed hordes of stuff because they can apply burn stacks, but they're also good bossing weapons because, again, those burn stacks that can be applied, they do some serious damage with burn stacks. But you can also forego burn stacks and go for things like Dum Dum and Headhunter if you just wanted to go more pure like flat damage style as well. But I think that honestly the burn stacks are too good to give up. Infernus Recon lasgun is like really good because you can just put fire on stuff and then walk away and have it be doing lingering damage that you don't have to worry about. And of course veteran gets extra efficacy out of these weapons because of his talent called Onslaught that applies brittleness on hit, and therefore these weapons get a huge boost in their DPS against crushers, which would be their only, or crushers and maulers, which would be their only hard target normally. They just melt once you apply that, and obviously with the weapon that fires 20 rounds per second, you can apply that in the blink of an eye. So yeah, these are the LMGs. Yeah, the LMGs of the veteran class. Definitely either number 1 or number 2 on the veteran class. I wish there was more up there. And while we're at it, I suppose we should talk about the plasma gun. The plasma gun is not a game-breaking weapon, okay? The plasma gun is a meta weapon, but it's not game-breaking by any stretch of the imagination. The reason the plasma gun is potentially receiving a nerf is because it's a boring-ass weapon that completely nullifies its own like design because they put way too much power in the light attack spam. So if you are currently using this weapon and it's like 2025 and it's, you know, it hasn't been nerfed yet, the way you should be using this weapon is just left click spamming. You should never ever charge a shot on this weapon because charging a shot consumes more ammo than it's worth in like nearly 100% of cases, and it's much better to fire 3 individual shots that can hit 3 separate targets or stagger 1 target 3 times than it is to charge it to full. And not to mention that the light shots, they still penetrate bulwark shields, they still penetrate walls. All that stuff might be going away with the update to the weapon, but that's the problem with the weapon, is like there is no reason to play with the alternate fire here, and there's no danger of exploding yourself because you can't explode on the left clicks. But this weapon is exceedingly strong. It has pinpoint accuracy. You never have to reload. I mean, the thing literally has like, if you're playing weapon specialist, which you probably are because it's one of the best veteran keystones, but you're shooting like 35 shots before you have to reload. Even if that's the case, every shot has infinite cleave. It has 100 cleave, so it's going to go through everything in a big long tree trunk size line. It goes through walls, and it's, yeah, the weapon doesn't even really take that long to pull out and fire either. So yeah, just disgusting weapon, definitely very strong. And the problem with it being that it just kind of nullifies all other weapons like reason to exist. When compared as a 1-to-1 comparison on the class between the plasma gun and the bolter, there's no reason to take the bolter on the veteran, because the only thing the bolter does better is like boss DPS. But if you're using it to snipe targets, like I've seen so many people playing like Executioner Stance bolter, just play Executioner Stance plasma gun. Does you know, the same damage or better in 99% of cases, and has, I want to say it has like What's in the magazine? 303 rounds. So you have 130 shots with this thing. Like, crazy how much ammo you have. And remember, every single round is so powerful. So I don't think this weapon is breaking the game. I don't think this weapon is really that much of a problem at all. And here's where I think, yeah, this is obviously like the best veteran weapon, followed by this one, right? If you're playing veteran, this should be your order of operations on veteran. It's something like that, or sorry, this. There you go, and then maybe that there. But you know, obviously it's not available in other classes. But yeah, I don't. I understand why they're going to nerf this weapon, but I firmly believe that when and if they do nerf this weapon, we have to be expecting a veteran rework at the same time, because that will just be too big of a veteran L for them to take. This is their best gun. It's one of the only guns that holds them competitive on like a DPS standpoint with any other class right now, and they're gonna nerf it and make it harder to use. I have to believe that at the same time, in order to prevent the mass uprising of you know, vets out there, that they will buff the class to, you know, the next dimension, and probably give it a new weapon as well. I have to imagine, because they've been promising that for a fucking year. So I really do hope that they make the charge shots in this thing very good again. Okay, let's move on from talking about plasma gun and go ahead and drop some more Vigilant auto guns in the bottom tier. Man, seriously, fuck these things. Where's the last one? You can't hide from me. Wait, I guess it can hide from me. There's 3 Vigilant auto guns. Did I not put it on here? This isn't it. That's a braced. That's a braced. Wait, no, that is a Vigilant auto gun. Aha. You fucking bastard. Fuck these things. These weapons are such trash, and they have Z DPS. They dink off of crusher heads. They're so deceptive for new players who think that, oh, it's a long rifle. Look at it's got a suppressor on the end. It's so long. It's going to be so powerful. Yeah, fuck that. They're just like, honestly, just need to be fully torn down and reworked and given an entirely new set of blessings, entirely new fantasy. If they want to make these things like, you know, good, they should just be single shot, like bolt action rifles or something. I don't know. It's just like the reason I think I hate Vigilant auto guns so much is because when I was first playing this game, one of the first weapons it dropped for me that was orange, that was a really high power level, and keep in mind this was back in the day when like power levels were randomized when they were dropped, was a Vigilant auto gun. It was this one right here, and I was so excited, and I got the good blessings on it. I got the deadly accurate, and I got surgical, so I could like guarantee crits. And I went into a game and I aimed down the sights. It was Hab Draco. I still remember it like it was yesterday, because it was like 2 years ago. And I aimed on the sights at Hab Draco across that first bridge before you go through those big double doors. Put it on a crusher's head, and it went dink. And it took like 10 rounds to put that guy down. It was pitiful. And never again. Fuck that. Grenadier Gauntlet needs a little something. I know I'm probably going to make some Ogrins mad with this, but you know what? I'm advocating for you, Ogrins, okay? I only have your best interest in mind here. The Grenadier Gauntlet is a weapon that shoots explosives in Darktide, so by definition, you would think this is going to be disgusting, because it really should be. But the Grenadier Gauntlet, it just doesn't. It's so disjointed for me, right? It's like they leaned in one direction with the melee stuff. You look at his blessings, and like half of the blessings are like, oh, if you go like punch this thing and explode it, gives you like 10% damage or whatever. And then the other half of the blessings are actually for fucking shooting the thing, like it's a range weapon, like it's supposed to be. And there is no marriage of the two in any like quality way. I think they were afraid to like buff either one of, because it is a hybrid melee / range weapon. I think they were afraid to make it too good at either one of its roles, and really they should just make it like good at both, honestly, because you can't use both at the same time. You can't melee and range at the same time. So just make it a good range weapon that also has a melee subset to it, or just fucking scrap that whole garbage melee idea. And like maybe if they made exploding the melee take no ammo, I don't know, but yeah, this weapon is just so jank to use, and you would be deceived into thinking that it could be a good alternative for sniping enemies. But what it ends up doing a lot of times is you'll like, okay, here comes a trapper. You pull out this thing and you go, boonk, and it hits near the trapper, but it doesn't hit the trapper. And now the trapper doesn't die. Instead, they go fucking rolling across the floor. And now you can't hit them because they're behind other enemies. They've like rolled behind other enemies, and now you'll hit those enemies instead, and they get away. Versus if I wanted to actually fucking snipe a trapper, I would use one of the heavy stubbers and I would just shoot the trapper in the fucking head. And that would just solve that problem. So these weapons, you ultimately end up having to fire like 1 or 2 shots to get rid of like a small target because you can't get the absolute pinpoint accuracy. And these weapons deserve to have a fucking like a tracer like the rock does when you go to throw it and it shows you the trajectory of where it's going. It's so fucking annoying when you have this weapon and there's a sniper or something on you and you can't see where you're actually firing. You're just fucking blind firing into the distance and hoping to hit near the target. Just give us the little tracer line that points to where it needs to go and make it easier. It's just silly that it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that, right? Am I crazy? But yeah, you brace fire. Okay, so you brace fire. Okay, no, but it's just not accurate enough to get the shot. I remember playing with it and then immediately putting it down because I was still not able to hit the shots because it's not accurate at that distance. Not like our other grenade launcher. It's just, it needs something. I know that like it is probably a balanced explosive weapon in Darktide, which is a hard thing to do, but I can't justify using it over any of the other options. Flamer. The Purgatus Flamer, or the whatever. The Zealot Flamer. Dude, this weapon, it doesn't have the tracer. That's right, the Rumbler has the tracer. I knew I wasn't crazy. Okay, so this Flamer, absolutely the best weapon that you can bring as a Zealot, right? The only 2 weapons that you should be bringing as the Zealot are the Bolter and the Flamer. If you are in a pinch where you need a little bit extra boss damage in your team, you bring the Bolter. But in 90% of cases, the Flamer is where it's at. The Flamer is a disgusting multiplicative damage weapon. It is like the Flame Staff, but it has an actual ammo limitation, so it's not that broken. It doesn't break the game, but for a small period of time, it does break the game, because this thing destroys mixed hordes like nothing else in the game. As I said before, flame, actual fire, is one of the craziest dot effects in this game, and this thing has the ability to scale its strength the longer you fire out of the current magazine, which takes its damage to absurd levels. So if you are a Zealot and you understand spacing and you get a huge ass mixed metal horde of 100-some crushers and shotgunners and maulers and stuff, and you've got a team that can make space for you, and you spend just 1 tank of gas, that entire horde melts. So it's super, super ammo efficient too. So when you're running in a Havoc group and you've got like a veteran on your team who has Survivalist, every, 5 minutes, you can pull this out and shoot 1 whole tank of gas and clear a huge horde. Anything coming from one direction is just instantly dead, and you have solved that situation, and it only cost you 1 magazine. Just such a quality use of ammo for a class that otherwise doesn't really need to use their range weapon, and it can really, really thin out problem situations, and it's definitely what you should be using if you're a Zealot at all. So really, really good weapon, and definitely belongs in that meta tier. Not that there's that many choices for a Zealot, but yeah, definitely a big dog up there. Okay, let's go ahead and do our braced autoguns. I think all braced autoguns, I love these guns, guys. You know what? I love my Space AK. I love, which is the Vrax. I love going Daka with these guns, but they just need a little something. There's really no reason. As many of you commented on my ACAB video, that's AK, AV, by the way. I would never say that about my men and boys in blue. Many of you commented on my ACAB video, it's just better if you use the infantry auto gun, right? It's like they don't have the accuracy to hit the target with any consistency over a distance of about 20 feet, and that ends up wasting a ton of fucking ammo, and so therefore they're losing damage throughput. And the thing that the infantry autoguns have over them is they have a similar ammo capacity, but they can also aim for the heads and get crit multipliers. And crits in this game are insane. And since these weapons not only can't hit the head, but also when they do hit the head, they have a low critical or like a finesse multiplier, they just fall way behind in comparison. They're super fun to use, and I love just like like just blasting enemies. The whole idea is supposed to be that like, okay, these guns do the DPS and are precise, and these guns have stagger, and you just shoot enemies indiscriminately at close range. But they don't quite have enough DPS throughput to justify never aiming for a weak spot or not being able to hit a weak spot. So what I think they should do with these guns, because again, when you brace these weapons, you can barely fucking move for some reason. I think that the braced slowdown should just like either not exist, or they should have like way better accuracy than they do when you're bracing. That's the only two options I can see there that would actually make it viable. Because I didn't remember. It's been a long time since I've actually played with these guns, because I was playing on them back when Veteran was like a thing that people actually wanted to play. But I was playing it on Castigator stance, and it's awesome because you can just, you know, Castigator stance around while you're bracing. And then the Castigator stance ended, and I was like, Am I holding on the movement keys anymore? Like, I'm not even fucking moving. Like, it's crazy. You move at like 10% movement speed. It's fucking nuts. Like, and you don't get any accuracy benefit out of it at all. So yeah, I wish that these let you move a lot faster while you're bracing, and just had or had a lot better accuracy while braced. Because 95% of the time, I just find myself not even bracing and just running around and then just left click spamming on people's faces. We gotta talk the heavy stubbers. As you can see from the thumbnail of the stream, I was kind of initially like pretty down on these weapons when they launched, but I have reevaluated. I think these weapons are probably in the, oh, not this one, fuck this, that needs a lot of something. The twin leg stubbers all need a lot of something. They just don't have it. But these weapons are all off meta. They all serve their own purposes, right? I wouldn't say that they are meta. You know, honestly, actually, hold on. This is the sniper rifle one, right? There we go. It can be meta. Sniping Ogrin is good. It instant removes stuff. You know, there's not a whole lot of options on the Ogrin, so I gotta give at least one meta option for the Ogrin to have. So there has to be a best Ogrin weapon, and I think that goes to the Atlas, which is the sniper rifle variant. It guarantees a kill on any target. If you line it up and put it on the head, that target dies, unless they are a crusher. But yeah, like, there are situations, and I mentioned this before on my Ogrin builds, but there's situations when you are, when you're locked out of a room and there's just so much gunfire coming through the door, and you just have to sit back and start picking targets off. And the Atlas is amazing at this, because it has 120 rounds to play with. That's 120 kills. And you can just sit there all day and just go pop, 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 and knock them all down. It takes a very long time to pull this weapon out, but once you have it out, generally what I do is I just end up killing about like 10 or 15 guys before I put it away at all. So yeah, it's definitely a good expenditure of ammo. So very quality there. So I gotta give that to that thing. And hold on one second, making sure my broadcast is doing okay. Okay, and we've only got 2 left, guys. We'll save the best for last and talk about the little shield here. I'm going to give it best off meta, because the meta weapon for the Arbites is obviously his shotgun. This weapon, it's very competitive, as Reginald will tell you. When we were playing together, he was having a great old time when we were playing in some Auric Maelstroms and stuff like that. It just really starts to suffer against your classic like armor, like mixed armor, stuff like that. And the weapon really suffers from having a low overall ammo count, I guess I kind of understand why they did this, because it's like, you know, they're experimenting with something new here with the shield weapon. They didn't want to give this weapon, you know, the utility of the shield where you can like hide behind the shield forever and have a ton of ammo to shoot out. So they really limited it. So this weapon has only, I think, 55. I think it has 60 total rounds, right? It has like 55 in reserve and 5 in the chamber when you get it, and that's compared to the revolver that I think has 70 total. So yeah, it's a very low ammo count, and the economy isn't great because it's not exactly a guaranteed kill on every single shot. So I have to rank it into off meta because it's good to have it in that secondary in case you need a shield. You always have the shield, right? So you get that. It is 70 shots total. Okay. Maybe I'm crazy, or okay, maybe I was remembering when it was on the test realm, but I swear it had less. But yeah, it's just like every shot isn't as valuable as the revolver is, so I would definitely rank the revolver higher on the class, but you do get the shield with it, so you can't put it down for that. The thing that really irks me about the shield, though, is the fact that you can't reload behind it. Like, you should definitely be able to reload behind it. Like, think about it. You're bracing with your left hand, and then your right hand could be doing the reload while that's going on. But I understand the temptation for them to make it pause the reload. But I just find myself accidentally blocking in the middle of my reload sometimes and canceling it, and then just having to start that stage over again. And it's kind of shitty. So I would just much rather, I mean, for multiple reasons on the Arbites class, not least of which is the bleed explosions, I would rather use the bolt pistol or the bolter like 99% of the time, especially the bolt pistol if I'm going for like a sniping like pistol type weapon, and then these two other shotguns. There's just too many other things, good things on the class for me to give it meta, because all of these guns, bolter, bolt pistol, both of these shotguns are just fucking absurd on the Arbites, and you should be, you know, playing with them. But it's still good, right? It's still definitely a good weapon. And speaking of a good weapon, we'll round this out on perhaps the weapon that is breaking the game more than any other weapon ever has. I don't give a fuck about your dueling sword, okay? You can run the dueling sword all day. Your use of a dueling sword does nothing to infringe upon my enjoyment of the game. Like, people cry about that, be like, oh, it doesn't take any skill. It doesn't take any skill to use the dueling sword. Have you seen a motherfucker with a rumbler? Okay, rumbler completely invalidates any form of challenge in this game in totality. The only limitation this weapon has is ammo, and if you've got a team who sees that you're using the rumbler, they just say, hey, big man, why don't you just go ahead and pick up all the ammo? And instantly, you have that problem solved. This weapon not only has obscene boss damage, it does like 5,000, 6,000 damage when you stick it on a boss. It also has a stupid stagger that can stagger every type of enemy in the game. So not only are you hitting enemies for thousands upon thousands of damage, instantly killing most small types of enemies, and liquefying hordes with a single shot, but then it is staggering and knocking back huge walls of mixed metal. To the point where, you know how there's like, when you backtrack, it's called the slab sandwich. If you backtrack too much in Havoc, what the game will do is it will spawn in a wave of 25 bulwarks. And it'll say, haha, fuck you. You're trying to backtrack and like get a spawn or something, or go pick up some more ammo or whatever. Nah, you're gonna pay for that. And the rumbler says, nah, I'd win. And you just fire the rumbler at your feet 2 times, and every single one of those shields is dead, because it just completely ignores their defenses. And this has only been taken to further absurd extremes by the Ogrin's tree. If you can take the explosion radius talent that follows into the burn stacks talent that can give you up to 8 stacks of burn, which will augment your damage by about 20 to 25% overall in a game. And of course, the synergy with Lucky Bullet, where if you stack up Lucky Bullet stacks, you can get a guaranteed free shot. You know, shooting one of these grenades is damaging enough. Shooting 2 or 3 back to back is just stupid. and it falls on the back of a class that is already absurdly powerful and a class that has taunt. So like, what better synergy could you hope for than a weapon that absolutely nukes everything in like a area this big? I'm gesturing with my hands, you can't see it, but also being on a class that has an ability that can get every enemy within a huge fucking radius to come and try and get to you in a tight little space, and then you just shoot the grenades at your feet and it's all dead. This weapon needs to be nerfed. I will just say it right now. I'm gonna make a video on it, but this weapon, so much more than the Purgative Staff, this weapon has to get a nerf, because the Ogrenheimer build that I put out just completely trivializes Havoc. It is a MMO build in a first-person shooter game, right? We are not playing the same game when you're playing Rumbler. It doesn't require any skill, any aiming or anything. And the problem is like, if this weapon continues to exist, there's no amount of enemies, there's no amount of challenge or whatever that the AI can throw at us that won't be just destroyed by the Rumbler. Because, I mean, you've probably all seen it. If the game throws 3 bosses at you, you just shoot the Rumbler at it, and it AoEs and hits all the bosses at the same time and nukes them all down. So, yeah, the vet still gets included on your meta inclusions for Havoc just because he supplies a couple extra Rumbler shots, right? Yeah, this weapon's stupid, and I love it because I love my Ogrenheimer build, but it definitely is game breaking. It's not okay. It's not okay that a single player in a game can do triple the damage of all the other characters by using a single weapon. It doesn't make any sense, and that's where I stand. So I think that this represents a pretty solid look at the overall balance or the overall viability of the various range weapons in Darktide. As you can see, there's a lot of weapons that are at the bottom tier here that need something, just a little something to be great or to be usable. You know, I'm not a game dev and they would never listen to me in terms of developing these things, but hopefully what we're about to see, as we've just seen recently with the shotguns, right? Look at how these shotguns have moved themselves into a best off meta tier when before these things were a fucking joke. The extra damage and the extra ammo they afford these weapons really save them. And so if they can continue to make changes like that across the arsenal, little by little, we could see a lot more weapons to get into this tier. And I would love to have more weapons be here and here than down here. I don't think that weapons up here are power creeping the game. I don't think these weapons are the problem. You know, this one is kind of pushing it, but like the weapons like the plasma gun aren't the problem. They're not what's causing like you know the game to have to spawn 25 maulers inside a closet in order to ambush you. It's these weapons that are the problem. So that's my overall take, guys. What do we think? What do we think? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, if you're watching the live chat, you can let me know in the live chat. And this is going to become a vid. Yeah, I'll try to put this out by tomorrow. I got to edit it down tonight and cut out any pauses and stuff like that. But overall, this did not take nearly as long as the melee one, and I got to put that melee one up. I think it's a solid list. I really don't feel bad about the state of weapon balance overall in Darktide right now. I think I feel way worse about the melee stuff than I do about the ranged, because there's a lot of ranged weapons that are close, but look how many options are up here that are reasonably good to play with. You know, it just depends on your class, right? I think there's a lot of options here. I mean, yeah, but like, you know, the Rumbler still has 35 shots, and you can get free shots because you're playing as Ogrin. So, yeah. Hey, listen, it's great that your favorite weapons suck, because that means they can only get buffs. They're not going to nerf anything down here, you know? The Recon Mark 12 is a disgusting weapon. Yeah, use like focus target with it and just burn bosses down. Ogrin one-shot shotgun is greater than the stubber. You mean the kickback? Where's kickback? Kickback's up here, isn't it? Here it is. It's greater than the heavy stubber. Oh, no. I don't think so. Because the heavy stubber still has applicability into high havoc. Because it can snipe at long ranges. The kickback can't do that. And as I was saying when I talked about the kickback, if the kickback encounters a havoc seed that has purple or orange or green, like anything that makes the enemies more tanky than normal, it can't do its one goal of one-shotting enemies, and the second it can't one-shot enemies, it is really bad. It's taking way too much ammo. And remember, the kickback only has about 50 shots to its name, and the Ackless Heavy Stubber has 120. So you can get way more value out of this gun, because oftentimes when I play with this, I'll use this on my melee only, like Bonkzerker, and I'll bring this gun because I don't have to take any ammo for the entire level. You can just be like, all right, all ammo goes to someone else, and I can just use the sniper. Yeah. Oh well, no. So like I think this is it called Agrippina? I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, the sniper shotgun. This one is what you're talking about, right? Or are you talking about this one? Either way, like, you can just use the regular shots, right? I think it's definitely in a good spot. Like, the slug is still good, but again, the spread on this thing is very tight, so you can just use regular shots. It's still really, really good. Trust me. Because I was told by several players that I play with that they had been trying it out, and then I tried it out, and you will get your value out of it. You really only use those slugs for very, very distant things. Anything at a middle distance, just shoot it regularly. And it has like 90-something shots to its name. So yeah, you're definitely going to have a good ammo economy with it. But yeah, poor these things. Fuck these things. They're trash. They just need to be torn down and rebuilt. It's so funny, though, because I have actually talked to one of the guys who he was a QA/dev who was working for Fat Shark, and he was one of the main persons responsible for balancing and designing these weapons. He was a QA tester who specifically, these were his favorite weapons in the game, so he spent a lot of time balancing them and stuff. But he worked in the game prior to patch 13, when the game was so much more like tactical and like slow focused. And so it's so funny, I was talking to him and he's like, so like, you know, what do you think about the Vigilant autoguns? I was like, I think they're fucking trash. And he goes, oh. Damn. So. Big issue with this game's about. Yeah, I think that is less so for ranged weapons, Lead Belcher. That's why I didn't include. Oh, I should publish my. Here, let me finish typing up my melee tier list so I can release you guys and you can go all go enjoy that. We'll call this. Well, no, Martin's here, so I got to play a game with him, right? I promised him last night, and then I rudely abandoned him. But for melee weapons, the ability to kill armor is so much more important, because for a ranged weapon, you can simply not use it on the crushers. You can see like, oh, there's a crusher out there. I just won't shoot my shot and try to kill that guy. And then the crusher will walk towards you, and then you eliminate him with your melee weapon. When you get ambushed in close range by a mixed horde of metal, you have to be able to use your melee weapon to dispatch all types of targets. If you are stuck at close range and you got your Katachan Mark I Devil's Claw sword, you're fucked. You'll never be able to do it, and you're not going to be able to make enough space to pull out your ranged weapon and actually pull it out to counter him. So it's way more important for melee weapons to have the ability to kill armor than it is for ranged weapons. It's just icing on the cake if ranged weapons can do it. But you can see here, like, you know, this weapon can't kill armor. This weapon can't. This weapon can't. Ish. This weapon can't. This weapon can't. Can't. Like, you know, these weapons do struggle with killing armor, but they're still good because they can kill everything else for free, effectively. You don't even have to interact with them. So, yeah, very, very different metrics when for consideration for ranged and melee. So I wouldn't ever dare to say that, like, oh yeah, these groups of weapons, you can't use them in Havoc. You absolutely can. It's just going to be like, you will be, if you find yourself using any of these weapons in Havoc, what you'll do is you'll just rely way more on your melee weapon than on shooting with these ranged weapons, because they just won't give you as much value. But for the really strong ranged weapons, you're gonna be pulling these things out all the time to get some damage done, to the point where you can even make a build that primarily focuses on using those ranged weapons. Ba-da-ba. Oh, Flame Staff? No, don't forget. Flame Staff has brittleness. Flame Staff has a brittleness blessing on it that you just do. Yeah, you put 20 stacks of or 20% brittleness on the enemies, and they take a lot of extra damage. Plus, you can stack flames on enemies, then swap to your melee, and then stack up Uncanny using your dueling sword, or even your Force Sword has Uncanny on it as well. All the good Psyker weapons, well, excepting the Force Greatswords, have Uncanny. So then the flame suddenly jumps up. Like, you'll see the flame stacks that are doing like 100 something damage, they'll jump up to like 250 because of that Uncanny, the rending. All rending does is it makes it deal the damage as if the target was not armored, relative to the percentage rending you have. So if you can get some like really skilled players, what they'll do is they'll stack up the fire and they'll swap to the melee, get some melee hits, one more gout of fire, they'll quick swap, do a little light quick burst of fire to keep the stacks topped out at 16, and then they'll just rinse and repeat that. And that's how you really carve through a horde, is by keeping both rending and the flame stacks up. So yeah, the flame staff is, it doesn't really have weaknesses. And remember, the left click also staggers like everything up to Ragers, which is just dumb too. You push back bursters and stuff. Alright guys, I'm just about to publish the melee tier list, so you could check that out. And we'll also play a couple games here, and we'll call it a nice calm night. Yeah, let's throw. There we go. Boop, 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 boop. Alright, publish. Great, hope that does well. We like success on this channel, the mystery channel. And we'll swap over to the Darktide display. And we'll play some Darktide. Michael wants to play, and I promised that Martin that he would play yesterday. So we'll do Martin and I'm ignoring the queue. Well, I'll put a Force Greatsword up here, breaks the game in the range tier list. Oh, absolutely, yeah. All the heavy stubbers are better than all the twin link stubbers. They have better accuracy and they have better damage against armor. The heavy stubber, or the twin link stubbers, they'll just dink off of carapace and stuff. But all of the heavy stubbers have pretty solid damage throughput. I mean, you can just like open up onto a group of shotgunners and gunners with them and mow them down. And they're accurate. They're actually accurate. They can actually hit their targets, hit them in the head. You can't do it with the twin link stubber. You'll miss half your shots. Ogrin Rock is a blitz, my good sir. That'll be in the blitz tier list, which I've already done a bunch. Alright, let's carry some folk tonight. We're gonna do chorus. Oh, okay, your eyes are getting heavy. He's neepy. Poor old man. Alright, then hold on. What I'll do is I'll clear the queue. And then the first three. So you can't do it till I clear the queue. Okay, Michael, you can be first because you've been screaming for like 3 days or 2 days. And I caved to that sort of pressure here, apparently.
The battle never ends, does it?
Yeah, the flashlight, honestly, not bad. You know, it does have a flashlight. You can send Morse code signals with it and all sorts of stuff. All right, well, let's get some people in here. Do you know how to join? How do you get in on this? Well, I'll show my little friend code here, and you can just put it in your little friend code slot and then request to join. Here, I'll clear the queue too. Hold on. Next 10. Next. Okay, it's like lagging, I guess. But I'll let Michael in, and then we'll just grab 2 more. I don't want to play too many games tonight because I want to go edit this down. Who's this? Is this you, Michael? This would be a weird name if you are Michael. Oops. Your code. Oh, we'll request again. Sorry. Except for I had to clear it like this because I don't know what the fucking thing is. Sure, clear. I don't think it's as good as, if you look at the other stuff that's in that tier, right? Is the Revolver as good on Zealot as the Bolter or the Flamer? No. Is the Revolver as good on the Arbites as the Bolter or either the shotguns or the bolt pistol? No. Or, sorry, the Revolver. Is the Revolver as good on Veteran as the Recon lasgun or the plasma rifle or the Bolter? No. You see what I'm saying? It falls behind the weapons in this tier. It's still really good, right? These are the best off-meta weapons. It just isn't a meta weapon. No, because this could be your special killer. And also if you're a zealot, you're throwing knives at specials. So who dis? Who knows? Alright, one more. Blood sheet, there we go. Okay, that's good enough for me. Yeah, exactly. It's like revolvers are nice as a secondary, but they're not meta. Like, they could still go up in power and be fine. Oh wait, hold on a second. Gotta close. That's why I'm lagging. I have fucking DaVinci editing software open. I have 2,400 hours on that Darktide. Not the most in the world. Relic Blade is really good, but I was just about to play some chorus, so I just want to use the Fling Sword. Encroaching, pus hardened. This is fine. All right, go grab your things from the Havoc lady. What would make it more meta for me? It needs more ammo. Doesn't make any sense that it has less ammo than the bolt pistol when the bolt pistol has pretty much the same damage. Oh. They left. A 6th round. Havoc 40 compared to Auric Maelstroms? Like, I don't know. 8 times as hard, I'd probably say. I don't know, it depends. It depends. Like, yeah, you know. The thing with the Maelstroms is Maelstroms can be literally anything. Right? Because, like, you can get a Maelstrom like... Let's see, where's the Maelstrom? Oh, sorry, I'm playing an Uprising, guys. Like, Civi, that's pretty hard. Right? No ammo, mostly melee. You know, that can be pretty hard. But there's also ones that it's just like extra dogs and you get 20% extra cooldown. I would say that overall, Havoc is way harder. Oh, the harder than the hardest Auric, which would be a 3-vag. Probably like 4 times as hard. Oh, okay. You're not eligible for Havoc? You have never completed a Auric Maelstrom? Or a Maelstrom at all? That's all you need to do. Hey, Tenacious B, thank you. That's all you ever wanted and more? How is a channel devoted to one thing more than you wanted? Listen, I won't ask questions. $5 is $5. Alright, well, I need one more person then. Who's my next one? I don't think it needs more shots in the cylinder. I just think it needs to... Oh, it's Bloodsheet. Bloodsheet, get in here. You're already in here. Just kidding. I think it just needs more ammo in the capacity. Oh, queue's empty. Alright. Whoever's the next person to queue up, I'll grab you. Come on in.
For your kind gift. I have sent it to Mars to confirm its authenticity.
Provided you want to play some Havoc. Havoc 37. I mean, I'm certain we'll get a 4th. We got 200 people here. Someone will play. I don't know. I think the electrokinetic staff should have its peril generation tuned down a lot. It makes no sense that every heavy smite that it doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as other charge attacks on other staves, and it just it gives you way too much peril for the return on the investment that you actually give. High voltage. Dude, I don't know, Kara. It's so annoying because like on the Twin Link stubber, the Atlas is the fast firing one. On the heavy stubber, the Atlas is the slow firing one. Go figure. Great, it's the most mobile staff. That's what I pick a staff for. I don't know. Listen, like when you're playing on Malice difficulty, the Electro staff fucks because there's like 4 enemies in the level and it'll kill all of them with one charge attack. But once you start getting enemies that actually have any amount of health and there's more than 3 of them on the screen, you just doesn't do anything anymore. Alright, well, guys, next person to join, and, you know, keep in mind we are playing a Havoc. I have purple and pus hardened. Dude, Castigator's stance is busted. That's just called head pop. That's just called brain burst brocheries. Check your mods, Bat. I'd have to imagine a stutter like that is probably something to do with a mod. Alright, someone else request to join to the group so you can play. Otherwise, Soggy's gonna have to join. Oh, it's Soggy, never mind. It's always fucking Soggy.
Do you hear the call of battle?
Oh, you gotta go touch the console because it was reset. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, you can play rituals instead of purple. That's fine. There we go. I'm fine with this. Alright, guys. If you are leaving the stream, you know, you're tired and you can't watch anymore, go watch the Melee tier list. It just went up on the channel as well. So you can get even more tier list action. Inject that shit directly in your fucking veins. And I put an ADHD corner on there. Just for you. I know you guys love that shit. Reinstalled and tried with no mods and it's still happening? That's weird. I will be talking about the keystones, yes. Yeah, I'm gonna start talking balance. cosmetic tier list. I don't own all the cosmetics. I'd have to get my friend, my good friend First Tier Guardsman in here. Yeah, the 88 or the sorry, the AMD graphics card. That's a known issue. AMD graphics cards get stutters on Darktide. I don't think they know why yet. I'm getting stuck. Look at this dog helping. Heckin' doggerino. Man, I haven't played nearly enough recently. My, like, ability to perceive in quick times is bad. Oh. That was close. Oh, Jesus, dog. No, no, no. Not me. Stop it! Put him down! You see that slide? That was crazy. That was a great one. Oh my god, that fire. What the fuck? I love that. Instantly hit by fire. Or a range of 1/4 mile. Let's hop down. Well, I'm gonna make sure I have chorus, because as soon as you touch those stairs, you know what's happening. Boom. Okay, never mind, I lied, I guess. I guess I lied. No boss this time. I gotta go get suppressed. There we go. I love suppression. It makes so much sense and is good. I am best little chorus bot bitch. I'm still blue. I don't want to be blue. I want to be red or gold. I mean. Ah. No, gunners. Ah. Let's back up. Oh my god, these fucking guns, dude. Oh my god, what the fuck? This guy's a fucking maniac, what the fuck? Oh, I only had 5 rounds, fuck. Here, get him up. Oh god, the fire. Why did you fall? I almost died because of that shit. Oh god. Damn, that was close. At least that's like at my reaction time. Makes sense to me. Actually, I don't need that until I use my until death. Well, I guess I'll take it. It's probably unlikely that I'm coming back. Oh yeah, the portrait rendering. You said that off to you. Oh god, what the fuck? What's going on here? I might still use the dueling sword even if it gets nerfed if they keep this movement set. The fact that you can do this is absurd. Just like gliding around all over the fucking place. Yeah, the logic was always to set the processor cores to 1 below your maximum. Back when I remember tuning up my stuff. We can just hold over at this end. It's usually better, I feel like. Watch out. If they make it an actually like skill-based weapon, it'll be really cool. They can tune down the damage, and I think it would still be really good. It'll be cool to put it in a tier list and like talk about its balance once it's actually changed. Oh god. What the fuck? That almost threw me off the edge of the map. I love how it's just kind of normal to have someone like DC in the middle of the mission and assume that they're coming back because it's this game. I can't walk in that fire. I'll burn my tootsies. Twins. Back up, 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 back up. I knew it. That's why I ran forward like that. I thought there might be twins. Is she coming in? Where is she? I need her to come forward. There we go. Watch your ledge here. Oh my god, what the fuck? Holy shit, these guardsmen, random ass guardsmen beat the shit out of me. Hold still, goddamn. Fucking pickaxe pumping. It's our first ritual, so we're right there. Oh, there's a Ogrin behind us. Hold on 1 second, I'll chorus and you get him up. Oh my god, it stopped me. Fuck. You should be on me. Watch out. I'll blow it up. Never mind. Get in the corner. That was fast. My man hops down immediately, gets dogged. One thing I forgot to talk about for the flame staff is the amount of suppression that it does. Like, all these enemies just cowering in the corner. Oh, okay. I'm DCing. Careful. Don't go too far forward. I'm probably gonna drop out of the game in a second. Yep. Hold on. I'll be right back. It's happening. It's happening. Come on. Hurry up and crash. God damn it. There we go. All right. Reconnect. Wouldn't be a fucking game of Havoc without a random ass crash thrown in there. Dude, I swear, this game would go up like 2 tiers if it didn't have error code 2014. Alright, I'm back. Oh, it's right here. Why are these summons like so fair? Like they're not channeling crazy fast even though we're near them. I'm so used to them being like, you know, 5 hallways away through 7 hordes and, you know, giving you 10 seconds to solve them. Like, I legit thought this one was going to be the next hallway up. He canceled my fucking chorus. I'll never get another chorus. You know that ultimate takes a minute to get? That's a lot of shotguns. Holy shit. That's a lot of shotguns. I hear them. I hear a lot of shotguns cocking. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Alright. Now you may shoot me. But only gently. Dog got fucking dogged. Next ritual's up here. Oh my god, what the fuck? Let's go. Ah. Thank god I'm a zealot. I don't have to actually worry about dying. But that was scary. Like a second there? That was scary. Did they patch this or something? Like, I can see this one. It's right there, and it's not channeling. Is this actually an okay, like, modifier to have now? It's coming us back all the way over. Oh, excuse me. God damn. Oh, God. Ow.
I remember this place as it was.
What the fuck? Alright, this one is doing more what I'm used to. It's down here, we know it. Yeah, see, that one tried to do the bullshit. Not that we would have died, but... being beyond some sort of stupid drop down. Yeah, that's like the... Oh my god!
Enemy in cover! Begin close assault! Proficient work, Behemoth! Kill that cussbag!
I died. I died IRL from that. I got hit hard as fuck right there. Oh my god. I just turned around. Dropped the fucking nuclear bomb in my head. I don't think these guys can die between here and there because there's no twins available to dump through them. I was doing so good at not getting hit until I did the get hit thing. Look how little damage I have. That's because I am the chorus. Don't die. Do not die. Guys. It's like you're staying in a firecracker. They need you, Blood Sheet. Do the thing. Stagger. Trapper from behind, you hear him. Oh my god. Alright, I would just get on with it as soon as possible before it spawns any weakened bosses. It's probably gonna spawn at least one boss here. You go ahead and throw down the health kit. In case you had to back up. What? Not a Darktide mod, surely. That's not on Steam Workshop. This is me playing, guys. Pew, 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 pew. Swoosh. Bang, bang. Clang. Light attack, light attack, light attack, light attack. I know how to do the Arbites maul. It's light attack, light attack, light attack, light attack, light attack. That's the combo. Light attack, light attack, light, 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 and light, and push stab, and then light. I would say let this Virgo get murdered on you, and then slide on by. First turn. Don't get knocked off the edge. There's a big gap in the fence next to you. Be careful. Shotgun behind it. Alright, get yourself out this hole. Push on out. Ooh. For high speed. The sword captains, man. Alright, make the run for it. You can do it. Arbites! I think you might be far enough ahead of him. Psyker. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell. Give me chorus, give me chorus, give me chorus. No! Shotgun. Shotgun through the window. Dude. I threw, and then Ogrin threw right off the back of that. Yeah, it was a bold spot to revive in there, Soggy. I would have probably stepped a little further in and then faced towards the door so that you got the full block cost reduction. But either way, definitely a better effort than I put in because I fucking died, so what can you do? I love the cape. What do you mean? Now they need to change the cape back so it doesn't have this stupid thing on it anymore. Yeah, we can run it back. That's fine. We'll get it the second time. Someone suggested on my tier list video that I do a like a nested ADHD corner within the ADHD corner. I don't know how the renderer would handle that, but it'd be pretty funny. It would be pretty funny. Wait, hold on, let me make certain. Oh fuck, that's a wall.
You can't find the enforcer station from down here, so you'll have to find an ascender.
Trust to the beneficent Emperor!
Oh, that fucking hurt. Jesus. Smite. Smite. Barrels. The Arbites are so fucking loud when they get hit with like a disabling effect, like a barrel or a boss. Just, ah! Oh my god, dude, of course. Fucking jumped over me. I had the instant kill set up too, and of course he just like completely ignored it. Oh my god, what the fuck? Get clipped by some random bullshit. Can you hit the fucking sniper? Oh my god, he's behind so much bullshit.
As you can see, everything in the tunnel is falling apart.
Be gone from my sight! Excoriate the heretic!
Just unfortunate that he was targeted on someone past me, so he jumped over me to get into the combat. Because if he wasn't, he would have just run towards me like normal, and I would have been able to hit him on the second hit.
Beneficent Emperor, hear me!
Okay.
Cowards! Come and face your death! Your days are numbered, Papa! The fires are gone! Beneficent Emperor, judge this mutant!
Sorry, I finished the ranged weapon ranking. You'll see it later tonight or early tomorrow. I'll be publishing it to the channel, don't worry. That's fine. This one is going in the corner. Okay. I am stuck. I am stuck. I am stuck. I am stuck. I'm not stuck, but I'm saying it repeatedly. I don't know why. I'll listen. If you want to say that's a grab, okay. I'm not the game. I can't argue with you, but it seems kind of bullshit. If there was a gun that shot force sword blasts, it would be an S tier weapon. If there was a staff that casts the blast that the force sword does, that's an S tier staff. Look, there's always something good in this box. Case in point, 10 ammo. No, that can't even get to us. Psyker with all the CC. Void Blast, Smite. Yeah, I really wish there was new staffs for Psyker. almost. Oh, God. Careful, he is a sword captain, so the usual applies. Oh my god, that guy just like, get down, Mr. President, to the sniper. Fireball staff? I don't know if fireball staffs exist in this universe. It'd have to be like a warp fireball. You're dead. You just don't know yet. Oh my god, what the fuck? Okay, well, those gunners just came down and just did their thing. If you stand right here, you should be able to get me. Careful for that burster coming, though. Oh my god, I'm dead! No! Oh my god, that was close as fuck. That was fucking ridiculous what those goddamn snipers just did. The gunners, I mean. If I take a fucking backstab from one of these idiots and die, I'm gonna be pissed. It'd be double backstab. Kill me, but either way. There's still 2 charges left down here. One more charge left down there. That's more like it. Look at that. I'm even doing more damage this game. You can tell it's going to be a good one. I think twins. Stay back. I heard twins. Yeah, I fucking knew it. Watch out, slash. Alright, get her shield down and I'll chorus. Alright. Get her, get her, get her. I'll hold this burster. I heard the faintest of shield and powering up noises. Oh, here, go out on the ledge. I'll just throw it off the edge. Unless it just pushes me into the corner and fucks me in the butt. Oh, we can just kill it too, I guess. We got Ogrins and shit. Fucking. You don't even get the ledge bosses anymore. They die too fast. No more edging for me. Huh. Back in my day, edging was viable and fun for the whole family. Oh, we need some flame or some fucking. Yeah, there we go. Get some smite on them metal. I just know I'm about to get overheaded by something that's not smited somehow in this huge fucking mess.
Begone from my sight! You are yours! Rangers down! Farewell, Psyker! Face judgment, Ranger! And on your turn!
Take them down! We have a gunner!
Gooning is where it's at. Hey, back in my day, goon referred to someone on the something awful forums, not whatever it is that you kids are doing with your wieners. We were proud goons. Alrighty. No, Zealot. Come on, what about Zealot? I mean, Zealot is strong, but he certainly has... I think it's Vet first, then it's Zealot, then it's Psyker. But in reality, all of them need it. Like, they're way behind the curve in terms of where RBB and Ogrin are at. Wait, is this still rituals? Oh, there it is.
Bear witness to the rewards of sin. Even the air here is filled with corruption. Excoriate the heretic!
Gold everybody up. Oh, we gotta go. This one's channeling fast. It's right here. These fucking rituals are one of the best reasons to have the screen effects remover mod. Their shit is so annoying, I swear. Hey, Hayseed. No, obviously the vet is not gonna get the Arbites shotgun. That's their weapon exclusive, or their class exclusive. Charge in there. Rituals up here. I mean, this pink really makes it look like there's, what the fuck? Makes it look like there's, the pink, Chaos Aura in there. But there's not. Oh, you shot it. We gotta go. I'll just push this guy out there. You do our thing. Alright, we're good. Putting baby in the corner. Beat him up, beat him up, beat him up, beat him up, beat his ass. There we go. That's the idea behind the build. Just hold everything at bay and we are supporting. You guys like that fucking parkour? That was sexy, huh? Dude, if my computer can actually run this game, it'll be amazing. Because right now, I don't know what my frames are at, but it doesn't look great to me. I am a wall.
More so than I would prefer.
Have faith. We are all in the beneficent Emperor's hands.
Hey, you're fine.
Begone from my sight. Battle is upon us.
Let's just go straight over here. Skip all that shit. I don't know. Arbites is a lot of fun. I really like using the dog. so that gets points. Soggy, grab this last charge and let's go. Alright, we're ready. Get a crit here and I'll drop down. Alright, gunners are suppressed. Let's get them. Oh, please throw me in a good direction. That's pretty good. It's a real burgle. You need to go away. You need to go away. You need to go away. Oh, that's a good smite right there. Hell yeah, brother. Oh, I love this gunner that's like laser shooting me from across the arena. That makes sense. You get freaking murdered, you're dead. Okay, he just puked on me when I was 90 degrees to his right. Good. I think Smite is fine. It's just a little boring is all.
Through pain, our souls are cleansed. Excoriate the heretic! I judge thee!
Stamp.
Everyone pay attention and group up as soon as you can.
I thought I saw someone hopping over that thing up there. That was sneaky. Oh, what the fuck is this coming from? Holy. Veteran, yeah, veteran is in need. If we get an edgeable boss, I can push it back all the way back there at the thing. Oh my god, whoa. Whoa, 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 hey, hey, oh, whoa, yeah. I'm walking here.
Brace your children.
No mercy, no remorse.
What's a GUO? No, this is my door. Nothing gets through this door if I don't let it. Oh god, I let it. My leg was itchy. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. Your dog is like 8 miles away. That was, of course, the exact moment where the enemies realized how to aim and shot me a bunch. Oh, okay, I see. Ducks. Wait, what? Wait, why did I call it a gun? Great Unclean One would be GUO, yeah. I read it as Great Unclean, GUC. I don't know why my brain did that.
Why are we breaking into Charlie again?
It's actually not a bad choice. Strong
Blah, 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 blah.
he could do worse.
Now for the hardest part. The final boss. You can't get mods to work?
Tomorrow's memories are so
Are you making certain that you were unzipping the mod folders before you drag them in? What's it? Is it throwing errors, or are you not seeing any mods loaded at all once you get in there? Beat his ass!
Another dead heretic!
Time to bring them home.
Oh, there's no barrels here for me to kill myself. Is there one over here? None? That's bullshit. That's the only good thing about this map is you can kill yourself really easily at the end. So let's do it the old-fashioned way. I love how your body just like sprawls. Just dead. Good shit. Oh yeah, did you run the bat file? Are you seeing any mods when you're loaded up? I don't have a Discord server, Nata, no. Or is it Nata? Nate, sorry, my eyes are fading in my older years. You might have the best smite build. I'll be certain to forward that to Real Asian Robot. Let him update his build. Okay, yeah, then you've done a couple of things wrong probably. Okay, so the first step, did you download Darktide mod loader and Darktide mod framework? And are they installed in the right place? I think I have to go after that one, but that was good. That was easy. Okay. Is there a TXT file at the bottom of your mods folder that says mod load order? Says being Lex.
Waiting for Explicator Zola to present herself to me.
We're gonna troubleshoot this, guys. Okay. All right, now go back up one level to your main directory, where you can see all of the main folders, including the main mods folder. There should be a bat file here that says toggle Darktide mods. Double click that. And does it say Darktide is now patched to load mods? Yeah. Okay, so you double clicked it, and it should pop up with a little run window. And what is it? Does it say Darktide is now patched to load mods? Press any key to continue, or does it say Darktide is already patched to load mods? Do you want to toggle them off? Yeah, but you're forgetting the first rule, Liquid, of power scaling. Any hero can beat any villain if they are scripted to do it. So they would find a way to make it work if they really wanted to make it work, you know? Well, we're just gonna assume he's doing the regular ass Steam way, okay? I'm not seeing a response from Open here. Hold on. In my mods folder and all of that, when I go to the launcher, not on the main... No. Okay, I need you to just answer the question that I'm asking, because otherwise it's going to be impossible to figure out. When you go to your main folder that has the mods folder in it, there should be a batch file at the bottom of the list that says toggle darktide mods.bat. When you double click that, what does it say? Because that's a file that you need to run, otherwise it won't load any mods into the game. And you cannot have the game open while you're doing this. Yeah, like if the narrative needs it to happen, it'll happen, you know? Just like how they justify that there's like 50 million demon hosts on this planet, and yet they're not, you know, purgatus.
Service, we atone for our sins.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up my thing. Maybe I can do a walkthrough. Where is this? Steam. It's this file right here. Error patching Darktide bundle database. Okay, you have something installed wrong. So when you go into your mods folder, what I would do is I would just do a full teardown. I would take everything out. You can put it into a backup folder, put it on your desktop or something. The first mod that you have to install is called Darktide mod Loader, and it's not even a mod. It's what gives you your mods folder and stuff like that. And then inside of that, that's where you put Darktide mod framework. This one right here, DMF. And after you've done that, then what you should do is you should just come back to this main page and toggle Darktide mods with no other mods installed in there. And then once you launch the game, when you get into the game, you should be able to press escape and you would have a mod options menu here. And if you've done that, yeah, and they won't be on the load order either. But you wouldn't even have to populate a load order thing, is what I'm saying. With that, it would literally just be do those two steps: install Darktide mod loader, drop Darktide mod framework into the mods folder that you just installed, and then run the batch file, run the game, and see if you have the mod options menu. And it'll be empty, because there won't be anything in here other than this right here. But I did pet it. See? I have the achievement for it. Guys, we need to start getting some fucking achievements. I would guess it's probably trying to I have a feeling it's one of the mods that's not something isn't being unzipped or something. All right, did you just delete everything? Did you just go back to step one? We can do it like that. Because what it'll be is step one, you'll have none of these mods, folders, scripts, all that stuff won't be in here. You won't have the mods, toggle Darktide mods in there. You'll need to download the Darktide mod loader, extract, drop it in here. Next, you download Darktide mod framework, extract, and drop it inside of the mods folder, which will be blank. And then you need to go back to this main thing and run this Windows batch file, toggle Darktide mods, and see what it says. Can we do that? It is a penance I have. I think, right? Hold on. I hate dogs. They're gross. They're smelly. Oh, my dog died. Where's my dog? That's not my dog. There's my dog. Press F to pay respects. Oh. Okay, I didn't have it. Jesus fucking Christ. That was a lot of penances.
Tell me of your deeds, so that I may
Holy
report.
shit. Look how this one's called Castigator's Arrest. It doesn't require you to use castigators at all. These are pretty easy. Abomination, that's this. This is all this completing missions, and this is, yeah, okay, that's all I got left in the whole game. And then I got to do a bunch of Mortis trials to get all these Shipmistress Brahms things done. Ugh. Oh wait, but there's a new difficulty to Mortis Trials now, so maybe that'll actually be interesting and fun to play. Huh. Perhaps. Alright, open world. I'm committed to staying here and getting this fixed. How are we doing? How are we rolling? It's working? Okay, so you got to here, you got into the game. Yeah, probably soggy. So you got into the game, and there is a mods options tab. Okay, so now make certain that your mod folders, the mod files that you have, are actually extracted, and drop them in one by one into the mods folder. And then every mod that you drop into that folder, into this folder, you have to go all the way down the bottom to mod load order, and you have to type the name of it, and then save it, and you have to type it the exact right way. But I think yeah, maybe you just didn't have the Darktide mod loader / Darktide mod framework nested correctly, or you didn't have Darktide mod framework extracted. That would be my guess. Anyway, but you're right. You're right as rain now. So, guys, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll actually be able to use this take of the range one. I think that was pretty good. I was much more on it today, so feels good. And look out for that tier list. So that tier list, I'm gonna probably not tonight, but tomorrow. And then tomorrow, another special tier list. Very, very important tier list. So, good stuff. Alright, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have a really good night, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.